All right, we are recording. Hello, friends. I am here with
Hey.
Arabia. We actually met online, like through social media.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she jumped into this business with me, and we are running towards some crazy bonuses. But I wanted her to kind of
Yeah.
share her story and just kind of like give us the tea on how she got into this. So, Arabia, tell us a little bit about yourself, um, and how you got into network marketing in general. We'll start with that.
Okay. So originally I got into network marketing because I was searching for some skincare and I'm a waitress and bartender. So I was at a steakhouse working and I met these young ladies that did Rodan and Fields. So I started out there. Like that's how I got with network marketing. So I met them. I got some bomb ass skincare from them. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try it. See how this little like consulting thing goes. And it's funny because network marketing, a lot of people do say like, oh, pyramid scheme, blah 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 and all this crap, but I never felt that way about it. And mainly because it we had products. It wasn't like there was no product or something and I was just I don't know. I didn't understand where people were getting that idea from. So it wasn't ever anything that I was skeptical about. But I will admit I didn't really know what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like because
Yep.
I had never like had any type of real entrepreneurial spirit, I should say. But I knew I didn't like working for other people, which I don't.
Same,
so
same.
you know from that point, once I seen the skincare started working, I really started kind of getting into the whole idea of like having my own business. And I was like, maybe I can help people. So I really started kind of digging in to try to see if I could help people. And I started to get a few little clients here and there. It wasn't like as major as I wanted it to be. Like I wasn't like making tons of money, but I seen where it was actually I was bringing value to people in some way. So
Right.
that was good enough for me. And then from that point, the reason how like I actually met you, it just basically was quarantine started, and so I started being on Instagram more. Because honestly, before quarantine, I was working my business, but not like I'm gonna be honest with you. I just never liked the way that they would tell us to constantly be talking to people.
Right.
And then I think I got really fed up when they did something where we were supposed to like ask someone something, but like they were like, yeah, ask them if they want to do this. And then I finally got a girl to say, yeah, she wanted to do, it was something with this whole separate page, kind of like how we do a separate page with Recreate It. It was similar to that, but they were like, I forget exactly what she asked me. She asked me to do that, but then once the person said yes, then she goes, okay. And so now before we do that, I need you to do this. And I was like, oh, I don't like that she's making me, like, okay, we're doing this. Now we're doing this. I'm like, why are we doing this? Like,
Yeah. It
it
like
just
it
didn't
comes
seem
up to
good.
a lot of like, here's the catch, like, and you're like, what? There's a catch. Like, I remember
Why
going through
are
that
we doing
too.
that to people? I
Yeah.
just didn't like doing that because I am not like that. And I wouldn't like somebody asking me something and then going right back and saying, okay, well, before you say yes to it, I actually do need you to do this. So when it started being like the messaging just seemed kind of out of control and annoying, I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I need to figure out how, because I like the skincare. I was like, but I need to figure out how I can do this without bugging the shit out of people. So
Yep.
then I met you and I was like, I was scrolling through, I think I had got into a loop, the loops that you do.
Yep.
And so I liked it and that's how we became friends through the loop. And so I looked at your story. I was already looking at someone else's story that did Rodan and Fields, and I liked how she was doing stuff because she's pretty popular. She's been on like Wendy Williams. She's like a stylist. She's in the, like she's high up, her name's Emily Loftus. And so I was watching her stories and I seen how she was not like bothering the fuck out of people, you know? So I was like, oh, I need to like, I want to mimic that. I want to see. And I watched your story and I said, I like how she's like talking about this nutritional thing, because I knew I wanted something for my stomach to go down. And I was like, and when I seen your before and after, I said, ooh, I wonder, it like intrigued me. Like, what
Right.
is she talking about? I was like, what is this? So I remember looking at it one day, and then I seen you pop back up, I guess because I had already looked at your story. So you pop back up again. So I
Right.
was like, oh, I'm gonna look at her story. I was like, she's so cute, and I just love what she's talking about. And I was like, and I love how she's talking about whatever she's talking about. And I love that I see some results. I was like, I need some stomach results.
Yep.
So when I kept seeing your like before and afters, I seen how you were talking, and you were just so funny and just real chill. You were just who you were. I was like, I want to try these products. And when you said that it was like free to like be a promoter, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do that then. Because you know, with Running in Fields, it's like you have to sign on a big package and all this stuff, you know. So yeah, that's how it all started. And I'm loving it. Love, love, love it. What's wrong?
Sorry, I had to pause. The dog came down, Tucker's down there. He's like, I need to get to the kitchen without people seeing me. And I'm like, okay. Yes, you're good.
I was like, did something happen?
I
I
was
missed
like,
it.
what? He's like, make sure they can't see me. So I backed
Girl,
off
that
to the
was
car.
funny. I was like, wait a minute. Are we good? But yeah, I pretty much fell in love with the whole products once I started taking them too. But I love the fact that I could sign up as a promoter and not pay anything. So I think that kind of sold me on the whole thing as well. But once I got the products and started them and they were working, I was like, what is this stuff? I started looking up like, what? It's so good. I feel so great, you know?
Yeah.
And I started losing weight. So it was like perfect.
Yeah, you started like seeing the results. I was the same way. Like I remember I was with a previous company too. I was with It Works, and I liked some other products, like I could get with it, but it just the how to like promote it or be a distributor or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was very similar. Like it was a lot of, the cold messaging and like
Yeah.
follow up. And these people were like, oh my God, you persistent. And like that's a code for like you're driving me nuts. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Right.
Like this is what I'm trained to do. And so it was definitely like when I actually had cold messaged. I was like, let's give it one more try. So I had cold messaged Courtney, and she's like literally like #1 in our company. She's a freaking millionaire. Like, and she had done It Works before too. And so after I messaged her and I realized like she has already moved on from what you're doing, sis, like that's a little embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got over that, I was like,
right.
But once I got over that, I was curious. And so I asked her about it. And, I just kind of jumped right in. I was like, you know what? You had me at free products. You showed me your results. You showed me what's possible with your commissions. Like, I was like, let's go. So I was similar, and I just kind of jumped in and like, I saw the results. I'm still seeing the results like over a year later. Like I always feel so much better when I do take my products. You know how every now and then you'll be like, is my body just used to it? And you like go a day without it. I'm like, what am I thinking? Like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Because I feel like crap. Like they really work. They really make you feel so good. And so I think that's why it's been so easy for me to stand behind it, is because they are just high quality. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. It's super good stuff. I mean, every time I look at my before and afters and I see the results, I'm just like, dang, it's so good. Like I'm like so like amazed. And so like when other people are not doing it and they're telling me like, oh, well, I'm just working out and doing all this stuff, and I might see a little bit of a result from them, and I'm just like, ooh, why are you doing that to yourself? You could just be doing this, you know?
Like make it easier on yourself.
Make it easier. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm like, bro, like I'm full, like, I believe 100% in, eating right and working out and whatever, like,
Me
10
too.
out
Yeah,
of
I'm
10
all about
you're
it.
gonna see results. But why would you not supplement your body and help yourself with things that are natural and things that your body doesn't produce on its own anymore, and things
Absolutely.
are gonna help you run
Absolutely.
at 100%, like,
Right.
and so that's where I'm like, okay, yeah, I can get behind this. I can stay behind this because, like,
Yeah.
I've been inconsistent with my workouts. I've been inconsistent with my
Same.
eating, but I'm not gaining
Yeah.
30 pounds every time I fall off of those things because I'm giving myself
Exactly.
the nutrition I need.
Exactly. I feel the same way about that. That's exactly how I feel. And when I don't have it, like I was waiting on my shipment like I feel like a week ago or so. Maybe it's been like a week and a half. I got it. But when I didn't have it for like that week, I was just like, oh my God, where the fuck is it? Like
Right.
I wasn't like horrible, but I was just like, I mean, I was fine, but it was just like I knew that it was making me just better. And I always feel like I don't feel bloated and stuff. I just feel so good on it. So I wanted it. I was
Dude,
like,
yeah.
where is it?
I remember one day I didn't take it and we went over to Tucker's parents' house. And I remember this day like so clearly because it really stuck out to me because I could not stop eating. Like they ordered pizza and normally I'll eat like 1 to 2 pizzas. Bro, I ate
Right.
like 5 pieces of pizza and I was like, why am
Girl,
I eating half a pizza right now? Like what in
girl,
the world? And I was tired. I was
same
groggy. I was
thing
in a
for
bad
me.
mood and I was like,
Yes.
bro, like,
Yes.
why am I eating my feelings? Why am I
The
so
extra.
irritating? But like, seriously, like,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
I ate a bunch of fries one day when I didn't have it, and I was just like, I can't believe I ate all those fries. I felt so bad. I was like, I need this stuff so that I don't eat like a crazy person. But the fries, it was something, I don't know what it was that made me want to eat those fries like that. But I'm thinking it's just because it helps with like that appetite control. So it
Right.
helps. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And it doesn't necessarily like curb my appetite. Like, I'm going to eat throughout the day, but I'm
Yeah,
not
I still eat.
overeating and I'm stress eating. And like, you
Exactly.
know what I mean? And so
Right.
I'm like, it makes a huge difference when it's making your body respond to things as like
Hmm.
food, especially like that's been a big thing for me, um
Yeah.
appropriately the way it should. Like I'm not like going to food for like my stress and my emotions and my
Yeah.
like anything because I'm like, okay, yeah, like I eat what I need and then I'm moving
Exactly.
on. And like that's not something I could say, a year or two ago when like before I had started. um
Hmm.
I remember I like graduated school and I don't talk about it a whole lot, but I probably should more. But I remember graduating high school or college and I was like super stressed out. I wasn't making a lot of money. I had just started my
Hmm.
first full-time job. I was barely making
Yeah.
enough to make ends meet, like pay my bills and that's it. I would eat like once a
Yeah.
day. I was working out all the time, whatever, and I was like all fit,
Hmm.
whatever. I was snatched. But then, like, I remember I got into a relationship. We were going out all the time. I put my workouts on the back burner. And, bro, I gained like 30, 40 pounds. Okay. And, like,
Yeah.
I felt sluggish. I felt fat. Like, I'm just going to say it. I felt fat. I was so,
Hmm.
like, uncomfortable with myself. I was
Yeah.
irritated. Like, it was hard. And I was like, what is wrong with
Yeah.
me? And I was eating, like, overeating all the time. And, like, sure, every now and then, like I'm a ball out, like I'm gonna go to the Red Lobster and get me the ultimate feast because I want a little bit of everything. But like I'm not
Yeah.
eating like that
Exactly.
regularly. You know what I mean? Like, this
Uh-huh.
really brought me back. It
Yeah.
brought me back, and
Yeah.
like I feel like I have more control and I have a better relationship with food because it is like it's fueling my body. I'm getting what I need. I'm
Hmm.
getting that energy. I'm feeling good. I have that mental clarity. I'm less stressed. And so I'm not overeating. And like that's huge for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like that was a
Hmm.
game changer for me when it
Same.
came
Same.
to this three steps. So yeah.
Yeah. I
And
love
dude,
it.
I saw your results the other day. I was like, ah! Like I
Yeah.
was so
It's
excited when
so
I saw your before
good.
and afters.
It's really
I
going
swear,
so good. I'm happy. I'm
I
just like,
love
yeah,
it. And I
this
remember
is so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's so good. So good. I don't want nothing else. And I think it's funny. I had tried this nutritional shake from GNC. I just bought a pack of it because I didn't have mine and I was waiting. And I was like, ugh. I remember like tasting it and just being like, I can't wait to get my lifestyle mix back. So
Right.
gotta
No,
make sure
I've
I
tried
have
about
it
every
in
shake in the book.
stock,
I've
boo.
done Yes, I know. I'm like, I am not getting behind on these ever again because I have
Mm-mm.
tried, like vegan shakes and whatever protein shakes from like wherever. Like, I've tried a lot of different things. Like, trust and
They're
believe,
not
I'm a product
as
junkie. I will
good.
try anything.
Ours is so good. Ours is
They're
so good.
not
So good.
so good. And like, I like that I can keep it simple. Like, if I'm on a, like, I gotta go and I can just pour it into a water bottle or pour it into some almond milk and shake it up and be out the door. I'm
Yeah.
not like, gagging it down. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, let's
Hmm.
go. Like, I
Yeah.
like can
No.
enjoy it still.
Right. 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 Exactly. Exactly. So
So
yeah.
dramatic, but I swear I'm like so sensitive to like texture and taste and whatever. And I'm like, I could not do those other shakes. I would have to be
Yeah.
super extra and like make them into a
Hmm.
smoothie every time and they still weren't good. Like the fact that I can throw this into a water bottle and like be good to go, like blows my mind to this day because
It
I'm just like,
does.
I'm so
So good. I love it. I love it. Love it. Yep. So good.
yeah, no. Yeah, the products themselves have made a huge difference. Um, so when you had first started, were you more like, I'm trying to remember because like I feel like we got started like pretty fast. So I'm trying to
Hmm.
remember, were you more attracted to like the products themselves or like the promoter aspect? Because there's a lot of perks to being a promoter as well. You know what I mean? So what kind of
Um,
attracted you like
I will say that some of the promoter aspects did because when I seen that once I could get people on the auto ship, like just two people, I could get free products. I was like, oh, that's freaking amazing. I thought that was pretty
right?
awesome. And so that attracted me in. And like I said, just being able to sign up, and start as one for free, that was just like, okay, what do you have to lose? Like, and you want to look fit? Like, do you really, if you really want to look fit, what is the problem if it's free? Like, to start, to get it going, to get moving. Like, I mean, yeah, you got to get products, but you got to get products from anywhere. And once I saw like your results, I was like, there's no reason for me to not be a promoter. It didn't add up, like, to make
Right.
sense
Like
to
there's
me
no
to
reason
not
not to. Like
do it. Yeah, because if I can get free product, like, how in the world, it just doesn't make any sense. But I know that they offer that as well for customers. But it's just like I'd rather like have that business aspect of it and have a team. I love the freaking team in the community. I didn't even know that that was really a thing. Like, I did see your Zoom meetings on the story, but I didn't really understand it for what it was until I really signed up and you started telling me about the meetings. And I was like, oh, those are the things that I see her doing. And I was like, okay, that was very attractive to me too, because with my other network marketing stuff that we were doing, that wasn't like, sometimes you would literally, they would be like, well, it's $10 to be in this thing, and like, or you have to be at a certain level to be a part of XYZ. And I'm like, so everybody can't do it, or, and they never like the way that y'all teach us social media. Girl, my following has never been so high. Like, my following has never been like, I have people always talking to me. And it's crazy. I've had a few people recently ask me about Sculpt. And they still haven't really like came into it yet, but just knowing that they're curious and they like it, like, I've never had people like come to me though and ask me. And it's because of the meetings that we have, because y'all are showing us how to do it. they never showed us how to do it.
Exactly.
They never gave us that. They're just like, message people, and this is what I would say because it worked for me. But your friends are not my friends. So maybe what you're saying still ain't gonna work, even though it sounds okay. It might sound okay, but my friends are still not your friends. So we might not like, they
Right.
still might not, feel okay with the way you're coming at them. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? So we
Exactly.
just probably shouldn't
And
be
people
doing
can
all of
tell when
that.
you're
Hmm?
right. And people can tell when you're like super scripted. And that was another thing. I was like,
Yeah,
man, I don't even talk like this. Like, what? Like, I don't know. I
absolutely.
remember being trained that
Right,
way.
right,
Yep.
right, right. I
I was like,
definitely am.
oh, I don't talk like that.
Right. I don't. Yeah. I mean, and some of the stuff is just like, I was like, this is not gonna work. I also just didn't like trying to sell somebody on something and I haven't talked to them in like 3, 4 years. I just think that's crazy. Oh,
Right.
and start talking to them about stuff. Like, I just love how y'all operate as far as building the relationship and the value. And it's funny, even while I was doing the other network marketing, I actually would listen to other network marketers and other coaches. Like, I would listen to other coaches, they would have webinars and they would always talk about
Right.
building the relationships and being in groups. They would talk about all that stuff, but yet the company I was with was not. So those were things I was going out searching with on my own. So once I seen you guys were like into that, I was like, this is kind of where I need to be because I like that type of stuff. I like building the relationship. I
Right.
mean, selling it is cool and that's gonna come, but I'd rather like have that relationship and that following because it, it's going, once it does come, I know it's gonna be like a lot. I'm probably gonna be like, whoa. Like, I feel like that's how it's gonna happen for me. Like, it's gonna be a lot of people at one time or something. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, because you're building those relationships and that builds that trust. And that for me was huge. Like, I was like, wait, so I really don't have to be like sending out these messages or following up nine like every other day or whatever. And they were
hmm
like, yeah, dude, like attractive marketing. And I was like, what is this life? Like, what do you mean?
yeah.
And I remember getting into it and I was absolutely blown away because you are like, you're literally just sharing your life, you're sharing what you use, just like normal people would, and then
hmm
people are going to come to you and ask you. And like, just
Yep.
like I came to, so and so and asked them about where they got their rain boots or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people are going to ask you when they're seeing your results and they're seeing these weekly paychecks and they're seeing
Right.
you get your products for free and they're seeing you like living
hmm
your life like way better than you were yesterday.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, like, that
Right.
it's really all about that relationship building and just sharing who you are. And that for me, I was like, that seals the deal.
The
Like,
weekly
I can
paycheck
do
is
that because
very
I do that on
attractive.
social media anyway.
Yeah. The
Say
weekly
that again.
paycheck the weekly paycheck is really attractive too, honestly. Could you hear
Heck
me?
yeah. I was like, wait.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're good. I heard you that time. Sorry.
okay.
It's like lagging or something. Um,
Yeah, it was doing that. But
but
yeah, I
no,
was just saying, like,
real.
that weekly paycheck is everything. Like, that's awesome. Not too many people are doing something like that. That's great. Yeah.
Exactly. And I remember it's kind of funny when I switched, I wasn't exactly like blessed out. And so I had a lot of people like, oh, she's doing something else. And they messaged compliance before I could even shut down my account. And so they were like, we're going to have to hold your last paycheck. And I was like, you know what? Keep it because I made what I made in that
What?
whole month over there, 3 days over here. Yeah. I don't know if I ever told you that, but I
That is
remember I had
crazy.
made literally, oh, girl, it was wild. Literally, I had
Wow.
made $90. I made $90 in that whole month with my last
hmm
company, and I switched, and they were holding
hmm
that commission. And I kid you not, I made $100 in my first like 3 days. I started on like a weekend and got paid that Tuesday. And I was like, you know what? This is what I made in a week compared to what I made in a month over there. So like keep your $90,
Wow.
like let's go. And like it was crazy, but like yeah, the
That's
weekly checks, I'm like, yeah, it's
yes.
insane.
That's great. hmm
And I've
That's
seen
awesome stuff.
people make like crazy money in this industry. Like I think um like I know I'm not supposed to like share numbers necessarily, like that's not exactly with compliance, but I can say I have seen six-figure checks and then some
Damn.
with people on our team.
Wow.
I've seen their back office, like I've seen people make crazy money. And
Wow.
it's funny, like I remember in our back office, like on our website, it'll show like these milestones that you hit as a promoter. Um, and there's one and it's like your first $5,000 check. And I'm like, what am I looking like making $5,000 in a week? But I will say one of my highest checks was $3,000 in 1 week. And I was absolutely
Wow.
like, I was like crying because I was like,
That's
this is
awesome.
double what I was making full time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so the
that's
fact
awesome.
that like it is, and it's crazy. And the fact that it was able to like bring me home and give me that option, like for those who don't know, I have started a long-term sub position just because like quarantine's making me crazy. My dog is making me crazy. I have to get out of my house. So I was like, if I'm gonna get out of my house, I'm gonna make money. So I took a
Right, right.
long-term position. So I'm doing
Mhm.
that. But in the meantime, I'm still working my business, whatever. But like the fact that I did have the opportunity and the choice to be home
Yeah.
full time. And I did that, for 6 months. And I was like, okay, yeah, I love the freedom. I love the flexibility. Like, I never thought I would be one of those girls who was able to work full time from her phone. Like, it blew my mind. But, like, that's
Mm-hmm.
what we have our hands on. Like, it's so doable.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's one thing that's definitely like attracted me and kept me here. Um, and like you said, those trainings, like the fact that
Oh,
you're shown
but
how to
so,
implement these things,
so good. It's so
it's
good.
crazy.
Like,
And
yeah.
and you came in around the time that we did those boot camps. So like tell them a little bit about that
Oh
and like what that
yeah,
was like for you.
I did. I learned so much. And like some of those apps, because there's a girl with my skincare that I even helped her with some of those apps because I never even knew about those apps. I can't believe that I was in network marketing as long as I was and didn't know about like Unfold and Over and all that stuff. Like those trainings were so good. Like it upped my game on stories and like just how to like get my audience attention like so much. That was probably one of the most awesome things that y'all did, that I was just like, I'm all in. I'm all in because yeah, like I said, Over, Unfold, Lightroom, y'all did that training. Um just all of the trainings, like even every morning, I sometimes I'm like, will it get old? But it doesn't get old for me because I need that repetition, and then I like how it's always someone different. So then you always seem to get some type of gem from someone else that somebody
Right.
else do, or they'll say, "Oh well, I know they do it this way, but I kind of do it this way," and you might be like, "Oh, okay, I kind of like that. That's a good idea too," or I might use both, or it just gives you so many different ways of doing things, and that just it helps me so much. I love those trainings. It's so weird too because we're always like 11 optional, and I'm like, if I can get on every time, girl, I'll get on day and night. I'll do it every time if I can, because I feel like I'm gonna get something different from the next girl that does her thing, you know. Love it.
Exactly. Yes. I've had people who like aren't in network marketing that are like, oh, you got to do those trainings like every day, twice a day. And I'm like, girl, these are optional. Like,
You're
but
so good.
I'm gaining so much knowledge and like exactly like something new from someone different every
Yeah.
time that I'm like, I want to be here. Like, I enjoy these, you know what I
Hmm.
mean?
It's
And it
teaching me
also
so
just
much.
exactly. And it gives you that like you said, that repetition and that consistency. Like I'm blocking an hour every single day for me to get
Hmm.
some work done. You know what I mean? And for me to knock
Exactly.
off the rest of the checklist for the day or whatever.
Absolutely.
And just to learn.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I'm
so
like a
good.
sponge.
I
Like,
love
I
it.
love seeing what works for people.
It's funny. I have some
Exactly.
people are always like, they're like, oh, I see you're doing your school thing. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? What school thing? They think I'm in school or something. And I'm like, no, that's for my business. And then they're like, oh, but it's so funny how people are just so like, oh my God, their minds be floaty as hell. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm literally talking about, I'm saying entrepreneurs, blah, blah, blah. Like, what are y'all talking about? People are so
Right. It's so funny. It's funny. And it takes a long time for people to like click or for people to really catch on or for people to really be like, okay, I see this, but like, what is it? And
what
like,
is
that's
it?
where that consistency goes into place.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And like, that's where that consistency goes into place because like, you know, people are kind of watching whatever, they'll skim through, but then like finally one day they're going to be, okay, what is this? You know what I mean? Like we all were that person where we finally asked. And so like, showing that consistency and showing up for those people who do have those questions, like they know you're going to be there and they know that, you know,
absolutely,
we got you, like we got you to answer your questions. We, you know, and like even with like our group chats, like I think one thing that I just love about our team is that there's that like everyone is a leader mentality. So like you might come in and ask a question and someone else is going to jump in because I'm at school with like all these kids and I can't get on my phone right away. So someone else will come in and answer it. And I'm like, yes, like it's so helpful. And it's
that
like,
is really
I don't know, for me, like, yeah, exactly. And for me, like, I'm all about like, find what works for you. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
my schedule and your schedule are going to be completely different, but we both can make it happen. We both can make it work. And like, we're going to figure out how and we're going to have that support. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in my last company, it was like, either you quit and do this and this is all you do, or you're not going to find success. And I was really nervous about that coming over into this company because I was like, dang, am I going to have to, you know, like go through a really struggle time of like only having this as my income because I can't, you know, hit ranks or promote or whatever while I'm also working full time. Like that was a real fear for me. But I mean, I hit the first, you know, 3 out of 5 ranks while I was working full time. Like it's doable. You just have to find what works for you and have that consistency. And I think that that is like amazing that you have so many resources and so much support to where you can figure out what works for you and match your circumstances, you know?
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. That's one thing that like just forever, I'm like so proud of our team and like so excited about who we have here because I'm like, everyone is so different. Like, I mean, you've seen it. Like, we're all like kind of crazy. I remember when you first came and I was like, oh my God,
I love all of it. I love everybody. I love how everybody is. It's good. It's so good. It's been life-changing, honestly, for the whole time I've been doing it. I just count it as a blessing that I stumbled across you, girl. Like,
I'm so glad you did. Like, I don't know. I get
so glad.
Me too.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy. I'm just like, it is such a blessing. And like to have, you know, all these different people from so many different like backgrounds and like levels of experience. Like I've got, you know, you who had been in like network marketing before, and then I've got girls who are like no idea what this is. But like it's just, like people from like all kinds of experience levels and like who we are, where we come from. Like our team is so diverse and I freaking love that. Like that gets me so gassed.
I love that too. That is good. Yes, it's so good. Yeah, I'm totally in love with this. I don't think I'll ever stop doing it till I like reach really like a very good like hopefully like I mean more than 4K. Like, you know, I have goals with it. Yeah, I have goals with it, but it's like you know, I don't plan on ever stopping. So I know that it's going to eventually pop off. I'm just trying to be patient with the whole thing and just keep doing my thing. Cause I know as my results progress, I think more people are like, wait, okay. What is this? So as my results are getting there, I feel like more people are like, dang, it does look good. Like, what is she doing? like, because a lot of people on this last picture, which I just posted that a week ago or so, I've had a few people ask, like, so what exactly, are you
Yeah.
doing? And then I had like one girl say, she was interested in sculpt, and I know a lot of people, that's their gateway with sculpt, which I get why, because I'm gonna tell you, I am in love with sculpt. I
It's a
feel like
mirror.
sculpt has really done, like, if I don't have my vitamins, if I just have sculpt, I'm like, okay, 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 I'm good. As long as I have my sculpt.
Yep. Those amino acids, they be pumping you up, getting you ready.
Girl,
Like,
it's everything, and it really makes my waist like really look snatched. So I love
mhm.
it.
No, right? I like catch myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh.
Yep. Yep. I'll be like, oh, okay, okay, okay. I see it. I see it. That's what I'll be thinking. I'll be
Right?
like, okay. I love it. So I just don't see myself ever being like, no, not for me. And then, like I said, I tried a protein smoothie somewhere else, and I'm like, ooh, this is nasty. I love my Thrive. It's so good. So
Yep. Exactly. And I
yeah.
love that you um touched on like how you never really arrive. Like we have people who have hit the top of the company, in our like up and down line, and they're
Mhm.
still showing up every day. They're still sharing every day because they're like, okay, yeah, I hit the top rank. Now let's get $1 million in team sales. Okay, did that. Let's go 2 mil. You know what I mean? Like these people are crazy, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? But like you don't
That's
see that a lot. Like I don't know, with my last company, like once you hit the top, you just kind of chill. Like you're on your little yacht with your mimosa with your feet up, and everybody else is like,
yes,
I'm glad
yeah.
you're making money off of me. Like, must be nice. But like here, like those
Right.
people are on the front lines with you, and like they're setting that example. And I think that's
Yeah.
another reason why we always see such like massive growth, like in our team as a whole, like up and down the
Hmm.
line.
Right.
It's because no one thinks they've really arrived, and like they're so passionate about it, and they love what we have
Yeah.
our hands on so much that they're like,
I
why would
mean,
I?
we're obsessed. I feel like we're obsessed. Like everybody's obsessed with it. We're like, no, we have to do it. Like,
Yeah, people are like, are they really all that? And I'm like, well, have I taken them every day for the last year and a half? Like, yes, they're all that, girl.
super
Like,
all that. It's definitely all that. I mean, whew, it's so good. So
it is. Well, I'm so glad that you like shared and that you just have such a like real interpretation of like what we do, what it looks like. I feel like a lot of people like
yeah.
sugarcoat or whatever, and I'm like, if there's one person who's gonna keep it real, it's Arabia. So
Girl,
I'm so
that's
glad.
funny. I talked with somebody earlier and they said the exact same thing. It was really funny. He was like, I'm gonna have to do this again with you. He like makes clothes and he wanted to interview me about like some skincare stuff. And he was like, girl, one thing about you, you're always you just put it out there. You don't play about it. And I was like, even like I have to do different takes on my little skincare show. I have to do different takes because sometimes I'm like, that was a little bit too much. I don't want anybody to think I'm mean. Like I was getting too real right there. I don't want I
I
was like,
love
wait a minute.
it. I freaking love it. I was like, you know what? Like, I've got to get her on here because if there's somebody who's going to be like point blank, like, yes, this is fire, or like, it's not all that, like, it's going to be her. Like, she's going to let you know. So
Girl,
I was like, I
this
had
stuff is the truth. And when people not take like people that I know need it and they're not like interested or not asking me, I'm just like, oh, you little poor soul, you. That's how I be thinking. Like, I don't know what
I
you're
love it.
doing. That's what I
I
be thinking.
know.
I don't know what you're thinking, but okay. Like, I'm not gonna press you to do this, but
Right. Like,
that's
I'll
on
wait.
you. I'm just here. Yeah, I'm like, I'm just trying to tell you what is this is really you need to be obsessed. You need
Right.
to be
Like, this is
obsessed. That's all
it.
I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so good. So
I
good.
love it.
Yeah.
It like geeks me out when I get those messages and you're like, bro, like one of my friends was telling me, like, oh, I've got to get this weight off or I've got to get healthier. And you're sitting here like,
Yeah.
okay, like you already know what I'm going to say.
I'm like, well, you can like I actually had gave a sample to this guy because he's always like working out and I don't really see much results in his workouts. I don't tell him that because I don't want to like make them feel bad, right?
Right.
So I'm just like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah. So one day I finally just said to him and said, look, I'm gonna just throw you like a sample so you can like try it. And so the next day he's like, do you have any more of that? It sounds like drugs. It was so funny. He's like, do you have any more of that? And I was like, I do. I was like, and I'll give you one more. I was like, but then after that, I was like, you just go. This is where you need to go, or
Yeah,
I
like
can like
people
help
have to
you
place that
like
order.
sign up for it. Yeah, I was like, you need to put an order in because I'm not like you're like just giving out this stuff for free here. I was like, I gotta pay for it. You gotta pay for it. He started laughing. He said, I feel you. I'm like, yeah, okay. I was like, but you see that it does make you feel good, and you're gonna see results. And then I showed him my pictures, and he was like, dang, that is good. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to tell you guys. So I'm
So
just still
funny.
kind of waiting on him to say he's ready to go all in.
Yeah, no,
But yeah.
I totally get that. I love it. It's so funny, like waiting on people too. And then when they finally do that, they're like, oh my God, like, thank you. And I'm like, dude, yeah, like, what was you waiting on? Like,
I don't get that, but I've watched a few other like I think I was watching one of the other lot like opportunity lives, and I forget who it was. I feel like it was Corinne and someone else, but it was funny how she was talking about she watched somebody for so long. It was like her neighbor, and she was just kind of like, oh God, just talk so much crap about it for a long time. And then her husband tried it because he was tired. I think she threw him a sample, and he was just like, I am sold. And it just
yeah,
became like it caught like wildfire. And then all of them, but they literally watched her forever and just
yeah,
talked crap about her. And I was
exactly.
like, people are so funny. I don't even know.
Exactly. I know. And I love hearing those stories when they come back and they're like, bro, I was so wrong. Like, I was so wrong. And I'm like, I know.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. I know that's how my story is going to be for a few people. I already know. So funny.
you're like, I already know. Y'all gonna be
I'm
watching this.
just
Y'all already know.
waiting. I'm just waiting. I already know. It's so crazy. Mm-mm.
I love it. That is so funny. But
Yep.
no, I was like, I'm so glad that you agreed to do one of these with me because I was like, I just want everyone to hear and like, if there's one person who's not going to sugarcoat it, it is you. So thank you for doing this with me.
No problem, girl. I was glad to do it. At first, I was like, well, what do I say? But then I was like, I guess I'll just talk about how much I love it. I was
Exactly.
like, there
Like,
we
just
go.
share like normal.
Right. So there it is. Yep.
I
I
love it.
do.
Well, thank you so much. I will let you go, but I'm so glad that we did this.
Me
And if
too.
anyone who is watching, me too. And if anyone has questions, let us know. Y'all already know where to find us. Y'all already know we're gonna shoot it to you straight. So,
Yes.
if you're wanting a sample or if you're ready to just like, okay, let's do this, let us know.
Yes.
Y'all know where to find us.
Yes. Definitely.
Do you have any final words, Arabia?
No, just thank you, girl. I'm glad that I got to hang out with you one on one.
Me too. I'm so glad. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all know where to find us.
All right. Bye bye.